Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High and His only begotten Son. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who root and teach well. Wa Barakathum, and to the hopeful elect. Alright, now today through the Spirit, I want to get a quick ride along, quick lesson going into, it's all for a reason. Okay, and that's why, our lives are, are consistently, getting worse, more stuff's being added on brothers' plates. So-called as we would say adversity or hell is being put on brothers. But ultimately it's for our own good, because we all know and understand that, this is the only way we're going to be able to try and build our faith. And this is how the Lord is going to prove us. As Wisdom of Solomon 3 goes into, he have tried them as gold is tried in a furnace or a fire, right? So tested us out. That's why James, the first chapter, speaks on that, man. So I'm trying to, now it's like testing it out to see if it's any good. All right? So the Lord is putting us in situations where, we have no choice but to lean upon Him and have faith and trust in Him. And when He comes through, that builds up our faith and that builds up that trust, that confidence in Him, because He'll come through for us. But also, it makes us have, it requires us to have to, it makes it where the sight of things isn't looking too good. You have to have faith. And that's how your faith gets better. By you going through adversities and afflictions, and your mindset gets better. Because a lot of stuff the Lord has to purge out. You see? That's why it says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Because that gives your patience an opportunity to grow. And patience means long suffering. So your ability to endure long suffering grows by you going through different things, man. Whether you losing things, losing jobs, going time periods where you don't have very much shekels, lower on money. Brothers may, get a seed added into them, whatever the case may be. Which really a seed isn't a bad thing, but it's just like here, most brothers ain't really trying to have no kids right now, you know what I'm saying? But if you do, that's the Lord got you. That's just something that you gotta worry about here. You got more family to take care of. You see, but these different things is just trying us out, man. Alright, because in these situations, it forces you to have to rely on the scriptures to get through that situation. So that way the situation won't destroy you, or the situation won't, overtake you. It requires you to have faith, because the sight of things get bad, and it's going to get worse as time goes on. And the only way we're going to be able to get through these different situations is by us trusting in the Lord. Also that's the Lord showing us that He loves us, because Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, verse 10, it goes into how Yahweh Shai is made perfect through the sufferings. The sufferings completed, it completed them. It says He's made captain of our salvation perfect through the sufferings. So the sufferings is what's going to complete, our refinement. It's going to complete, that cleansing. That's why it says, Yahweh Shai, I believe it's Matthew 3, I believe verse 11. It starts at verse 11. It goes to how Yahweh Shai is going to baptize us, which means to submerge us in water. In the living waters, which is the word. It says the Holy Spirit and with fire, because the Holy Spirit gives you the ability to understand these scriptures. It's the living waters, the word. So that's how you submerge yourself in that, and you cleanse yourself with that. But also it says with the fire. The fire is the adversity and affliction and the things that come with learning this word. The situations you get brought to when you have to apply these scriptures. You see, that's the Lord purging us out. That adversity, that's that fire. Okay, you having to let stuff go. The fire goes deep. But it's all for our own good, for our own benefit. The Lord is doing that because He loves you. He's allowing you. What does it say? If so be that we suffer with Yahweh Shai, then we shall be joint heirs with Him in Romans 8 verse 17. So the Lord is allowing you to partake in what Yahweh Shai partaked in, because He loves you and He wants you to be joint heirs with Him. Abarat Tazawi all endured the trials and tribulations, but that's why the Lord is bring you through hell. You know, because he wants you, you know what I'm saying, to go through that so you can prove yourself and inherit what Yahweh Shai is inheriting, man. But the only way you can inherit all the wisdom, that's why Revelation 5 says what it says. It speaks on how worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive wisdom, power, honor, glory, and all those things. All that good stuff. In order to receive that good stuff, you got to prove yourself to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? So that's why the Lord is like putting us through all this hell, because we're proving ourselves. Being proved. Okay? And then guess what? Once we finish that proving, or finish that refinement, we'll fully be in the image of Yahweh Shai. The same way he is, because we partook in what he partook in. Which that's what the house of David is doing, partaking in that same baptism that Yahweh Shai partook in. Alright, living your life through the will of the Father versus our own will. Because that causes us suffering within itself. You know, you rejecting, choosing not to commit iniquities. Since we're in this flesh, that causes you to suffer. That's what 1 Peter, the 4th chapter goes into. It says he that have ceased from sin, suffering. Alright, so when you ceasing, that Peter said that. When you're not sinning, it causes you to suffer. It's a sacrifice. And that's why we got to present our bodies a living sacrifice each day. Now, is this sacrifice what's going to get us delivered? No. The only way our sacrifice is going to be accepted is through Yahweh Shai's blood. Yahweh Shai's blood is going to cleanse those shortcomings. And it's gonna give us remission. When you go into the word remission in Romans the 3rd chapter, it actually says passing over. It says remission over sins. So we want the Lord to pass over our sins through his blood. Alright? But in order for that to happen, you gotta the elect are gonna be putting up that right sacrifice. And a part of you putting up that right sacrifice, you know, is gonna be you partaking in that baptism. Suffering as Yahweh Shai suffered. Alright? If you suffer with me, you shall reign with me. That's in I believe it's Timothy. 2 Timothy 2:12, I believe. Or is that all us should live godly shall suffer? I know it's in somewhere in Timothy it speaks on how, you know, if we suffer, we shall reign with him. If we deny him, then we basically, if you deny him, then you won't. If you suffer with Yahweh Shai, you'll reign with him. So the Lord ultimately wants to give us dominion. He wants to give us, you know, the kingdom the first go-round. Because that's the house of David is going to receive, the elect. They're going to receive the kingdom the first go-round. Okay? But in order to do that, you have to you have to eat of that baptism that Yahweh Shai ate of. Which he spoke to James and John and Zebedee in that, man. Which that's James the Great, John the Revelator, right? So yeah, he spoke to them about that, man. All right, and they ate for real. The Lord had it set up where they partook in that suffering. That's why now those men will be the elect. Whatever reincarnation they come back into, they're gonna, whenever Yahweh Shai returns, they're gonna be of the elect. And they could be here, they're in some righteous man's body, one of the elect's body, reincarnated, man. Those men are gonna be of the elect. You see, this is the last generation before Yahweh Shai returns, man. So those men are gonna get rewarded. That's why it says it speaks on those scriptures that you shall be judging 12 tribes of Israel, because that didn't happen back then. That was 2,000 years ago. But they're gonna do it now. Okay, because guess what? The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So those men, they came back. Either they're back or they came back. All right, the 12 disciples. Okay, some of them could be here and now. You never know. But the point is, you know, the point is, man, that hey, what they did, it followed them. But that's what we have to do. We have to finish our course, as Paul said. You know, and that's going to require us to fully endure this long suffering, which is going to come from, you know what I'm saying, us following Yahweh Shai. It's a long suffering. Okay? And that's what I want to mainly touch on, man. And the Lord is really doing it because the Lord and the Lord controls whether you are gonna eat of Yahweh Shai, if you're gonna take part in his baptism or not. And he's allowing us to do that because he's making us catch hell. He's making us sigh and cry. All right, what is that? What does it mean to be in distress or sighing and crying? You're sighing and crying because you want to be delivered. So you're desiring that righteous standard. You're sighing and crying because you want to be joint with your husband. Only the elect is going to be sighing and crying, or they're going to be paining to be with their husband. All right, desiring that righteous standard to be set up, desiring the kingdom. And that's what the Lord is getting out of his elect. So that's why he's putting us through all these things, to make us sigh and cry, right? And to make us want deliverance, to want Yahushua to get us out of here. Because if you're not suffering, not catching no hell, and you're comfortable, you all good, you're not going to want Yahushua to return and deliver you out of here. You see, so that's what Yahushua is doing, with his elect. He's putting them through that fire so they can do what? Sigh and cry. They could pain to be delivered. They're going to want to be delivered out of this place. They're going to want Yahushua to set up that righteous standard. And they want to partake in it. They want the kingdom. The only way you're going to do that is you're going to be getting jacked up here. That's why you're not going to want to be here. So that's what the Lord is doing with his elect. He's jacking in the sight of everything. He's really refining his elect. But in the sight of everything, it looks like they're getting jacked up. And there's particular lives there, infirmities and all these different things they're dealing with. But really, the Lord is refining us because he wants to deliver us. Because guess what? If we endure these sufferings to the end, then we're going to receive all the things Yahushua received. We're going to partake in his. If we partake in Yahushua's sufferings, we're going to partake in those blessings. Yahushua is going to split his blessings amongst his elect. All right, but that's the point. That's what I wanted to touch on, man. It's not for no reason. So we're not, brothers. And also, the hell is gonna ramp up as time goes on, because the time is getting closer for us to get out of here. See? So as that's happening, the time is getting closer for us to get out of here. It's gonna be more things the Lord is putting us through and bringing us through. Because the elect got to come to the unity of the faith and be in a certain level. Before the Lord, allows everything to just fully go out. They got to be at a certain amount of faith to where they can make it. They can endure. Because we're gonna be saved by the skin of our teeth, and it's gonna take great faith and a great level you got to be on for you to be able to endure the things about to go through, a time like never before seen on this planet Earth. So that's why the Lord is building us up to that point now. That's why we're catching hell. And that's why the Lord is having certain things like the MOTB, which is being brought out. We had the executive order, was it 140765, I believe. 735 or something along those lines. Talking about that digital ad. You have all these things happening. World War III talk. Okay, all these things are here. But the Lord is tarrying it because he wants his elect to be on a certain level. Because once those things get brought out, especially that MOTB, all hell is going to break loose. Stuff is going to get real jacked up and crazy. All those prophecies that we see in Ezra and all those things are going to be on full, like they're happening now, but it's going to be at full-fledged. no capping it off. You see? So when there's no cap on these different plagues and all these evils, it's going to take a great level of faith to be able to continue in that time period. That's what the Lord is building his elect to be able to do. A time never before seen on this planet Earth. Tribulation such as never been seen. But the Lord's going to make sure his elect be sustained and, make it. But they're going to barely make it. As 1 Peter 4 says, the righteous shall scarcely be saved. The sight of things is going to look bad for everybody. And then, the Lord's going to be sustaining them. He's going to be allowing us to eat and all that stuff. But we're going to be in situations where it's like, damn. It's not just going to be no cakewalk. It's going to be a test. That's why it says you shall be tried. They shall put you in a prison. These things are going to happen. The Lord got to build us up to be able to endure those things. It's tribulation before we get delivered. Now, is the Lord going to sustain his elect through the tribulation? Yes. But is it going to be easy? Nope. Because if somebody said it was going to be easy, then you wouldn't be speaking according to the scriptures or the prophecies. Because nope, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be, we're going to have to catch hell. We're going to have to wrestle for that blessing as our forefather Yaquab did. We're going to have to put in work. To get those blessings, to make it to the kingdom the first go round. We finna catch some hell to get that, man. But guess what? If we endure and we partake in those things Yahushua did, and we endure to the end, the Lord's going to greatly reward us. Okay? So that's the point I want to touch on this ride along, man. It's all for a reason. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to make sure he going to hook us up. We just got to endure to the end and keep our trust in him. Have faith. Faith is what's going to get us through these things, because sighted things going to get real bad. And it's not for no reason either. The Lord is doing that to try us out, to build us up. You know, brother, situations and life situations are getting, all types of stuff is happening. Well, guess what? The Lord is building us up, man. All right, and if we endure and keep our trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we'll grow from it. Okay? And that's us living our life, you know, partaking in the sufferings of Yahushua. Okay? But anyways, the point, Lord will, this was edifying. I'd like to end it off by saying, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Radash. And until next time, Kwame Yasharallah, Shalom.